So we got Marcus Imes. He's off of the chat answering all your questions, out here to show us the EC-500 50 taper, big brother to the EC-400 and even the EC-500 40 taper, right?
Exactly. So the 500 obviously refers to the 500mm pallet, and 50 taper, it's the big brother to the 40. This is a money-making machine with the heavy-duty spindle and the proven design of the redesigned EC-400. So
right, you've got the same kind of design improvements we had on there. We've got the step column and that sort of thing for more rigidity.
Yep, Milton covered a lot of that. A lot of the base is actually the same between all three machines, and so the step column, the improved ribs and casting, the proven 50 taper spindle design from our other machines. All integrated
and part
into
of the reason we kept it compact like that is to achieve what I guess is one of the smallest footprint EC 50 taper HMCs out there.
Yeah, the footprint for this machine is only slightly larger than the EC-400. The tool changer sheet metal's bumped out just a tad, but for the most part, you're getting 50 taper and 500mm capability in almost the same footprint as an EC-400.
Right.
So you're really not sacrificing space or anything else to get more capability in your shop if you got bigger parts or heavier cuts you need to do.
Right, and we're gonna look at heavy cuts in a second here.
Yeah, just a little size comparison. The EC-500 has 10 inches more X and 5 inches more Z, and what that translates to is 22,500 cubic inches of machining area. You compare that to the EC-400 is 12,100 cubic inches. So your work zone on this machine is almost twice as big.
Roughly double.
Yeah.
Impressive. So it looks like we got 800 something pounds of pallet on each side.
Yeah, 840 pounds per, 880 pounds per pallet, which is a pretty beefy. Is that 400 kilograms?
Yeah.
400 kilograms?
About, I suppose.
But yeah, you can see if you come around the side here, we have a couple big tombstones in there. So this machine was designed with, bigger parts, big tombstones.
You want to look at the front side of it now? And then,
yeah.
Okay. Sal, follow us around here and we'll...
If you want to come over, the load station is very similar to the VC-400, maybe just a little bit bigger. Yeah, very similar but bigger. You got the pallet ready button, so the spindle never needs to shut down. It'll just keep pallet changing as long as you hit that ready button and reload the pallet. So that's one of the things.
In terms of indexing the pallet, it works similarly, right?
Yeah, same thing here with the index lever. You can get to all sides of the pallet, and you can
once again, it's only going to lock out when it's in that safe spot, right?
Yep. And then if you notice, we have that arrow should point to the operator, and the machine will only start with the pallet in that position, so you can't misload it 180 degrees or something.
Right. Right. So maybe we head back.
You see a lot of common components between all the EC models and the new VC as well.
So now the fourth axis drive on this is brand new, or it's similar to the EC-400 in that it's the cycloidal drive now, right?
Yep. We've been having great results from the cycloid drive, and we've now integrated that onto the ECs as well. And so this has the integral fourth axis, so you can get to all four sides of your pallet right there. Right. That's a big fan with a lot of high production shops, because now you can hit all 6 sides of the parts in 2 setups.
Right.
So obviously,
what you're using an HMC for, part of the reason you're buying an HMC for sure.
Exactly.
And this is so that cycloidal drive maintains the kind of accuracy we had with the earlier worm gear style rotaries, but it is more crash resistant, which everyone can appreciate.
Absolutely. Nobody likes screwing up expensive 4th or 5th axis, and some of them can be kind of delicate. But yeah, we've recently transitioned to the cycloid drive, and we found that is much more resistant to damage after a crash. And I think all production machinists know we're counting our time down till the next one. I mean, we can make that longer, but
right.
The hourglass is ticking at all times.
Yes. So the spindle on this, the standard spindle is our 7,500 RPM 7,500 RPM 50 taper, of course.
Yep. 30 horsepower standard with gearbox. Right. So you still actually have a lot of torque and power from even the 30 horse. Or we have the optional 10,000 RPM upgrade and 60 horsepower upgrade.
Yeah, if you're doing crazy aluminum high-speed hogging or something,
yeah,
you're gonna probably step up to those and just You're gonna be filling this thing up like that.
Yep, even with this spindle, I've filled up a chip bin pretty darn quick, and you'll see it throw some chips.
And that's with steel, not even aluminum, of course.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, we're moving. So, some of the other standard stuff is the coolant, standard 95-gallon coolant tank, of course, right?
Yep.
It's got the same kind of features as we were talking about on the VC-400 and the EC-400.
Yep.
Centralized chip evacuation and out to the back.
Yep, better chip evacuation, and just all the updates with the new EC casting design, which has a lot better rib structure and the better chip flow, like you're saying. So you get all those same benefits with this machine as well.
So speaking of rigidity, maybe we should fire this thing up and see
yeah,
what we
certainly.
got.
So if we're Sal here, you see we got a nice size block of steel in there. We got some Haas tooling in there as well. If haven't looked at HaasTooling.com yet, please check that out.
Yeah, check that out. So we've got an action cam inside here that Frank will cut to now and then, but Sal, I think you probably also want to get in there and look through the window as well.
Yeah, so we'll do a little facing pass here, go around the outside real quick, and then I programmed some real aggressive slots with the Haas 1-inch steel end mill, and we're going to do 1-inch cutter, 1-inch deep, full slotting, and she purrs beautifully. Taking 100 thou off the top here just to maybe represent slightly uneven
right.
saw cut or something like that.
So is this Haas tooling tool holder and end mill?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
probably a pull stud as well?
Yeah. It's easy to order, so
that's, right.
That's one advantage to having the tools in-house.
That's right.
But I was really impressed with how the cutter cut. You'll see if you glance at the spindle load when we go to the full slot. I programmed that up to about 120% spindle load, and actually you could run like that all day. You can do 15 minutes at 150% spindle load on our machines. So 120% is an all-day sort of cut, and
right.
you'll see those chips fly. It makes short work of this block.
If you're at 150% for 15 minutes, that's a boatload of chips right there. That's an impressive program.
I was going to actually ask the YouTube people, if you've ever gotten an alarm for running 150% for more than 15 minutes, I'd love to know what that is, because your cutter inherently comes out of the cut sometimes. So I want to know how big of a block you have to have that kind of engagement for that.
Yeah, you're doing a lot. It's a very heavy roughing cut for a long time on it's got to be a big piece of material.
Yeah.
There we go.
All right, so we're coming over to do the slot here. So if you want to get in there, Sal, it'll throw some nice chips right at the window there.
You're probably going to destroy my action cam in there, I suppose.
Oh, we got it out of the way.
Just below it.
Perfect. Don't have to buy a new camera, Andrew. So this is a 1-inch wide, 1-inch deep, 575 surface feet, 5 thou per flute chip load. And I think I could actually push it harder. Obviously being live, don't want to blow up any tools, but if I was trying to make money off this demo, my guess is I could go 10–20% higher without any problems long term.
I can smell the steel right now.
Yep, we got it's 1018, so just kind of mild medium steel.
Right. And that can potentially be as difficult to cut as a harder one, right? In terms of, you've got a high gumminess factor potentially.
Yeah, the gumminess, particularly for drilling and any operation that's sensitive to galling or kind of binding up in the flutes.
Right, right.
It can actually be
I know that just having watched and videoed a lot of the Haas tooling test cuts that we were doing, oftentimes you have more difficulty with these gummy materials, even though they're softer. You know, some of the harder steels are much cleaner cutting.
4140 is one of those. I'll take pre-hard any day. It's so much easier at 30–35 Rockwell than the gummy 20s crap.
Right.
Yeah.
So how far are we through here? You're still slotting, right?
Let's see, rough vertical slot. We're getting pretty close to the end here. I put 6 nice slots in there. I'll do a little chamfer pass, clean it all up. Then maybe do a pallet change and bring it over here.
Oh, cool. Perfect.
Check it out.
Good. So that's of course, it's obviously a carbide coated end mill of some sort, right?
Yeah.
What coating you have on this one?
Yeah, it's a solid carbide end mill with an ALTIN coating for additional heat resistance and just longer life and higher speed capabilities.
Cool.
Somebody in the earlier stream was asking if you can cut stainless steel on our machines. Absolutely. There's very few materials you can't cut.
Yeah.
You get into some of the strange exotics, you know, you might have to add some extra protection for a lot of the
ceramics and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There are certain things that can destroy your way cover seals and other stuff like that. So.
Yeah, but you're really not limited to any particular materials.
Yeah, metallically speaking, you're good. You should be good to go.
Yeah.
On anything.
That's mostly just tool path. Well, getting the correct tooling and tool path, and you can cut pretty much anything.
Right. Right. Cool, so you want to do a pallet change? We'll take a look at that part. Is it
Yeah, it's
done,
just about done here. Give it a...
Oh, it's doing the chamfering?
Yeah, 30 more seconds.
All right.
My machining instructor said never give him a part that he can cut himself on or he fails you on the spot, and I've carried that through my whole career.
That's great. Then you should be making demos for us to shoot, right?
Yeah, and sit there.
Maybe not just slotting, but yeah.
Yeah.
You don't want to get to a machine and shoot the demo and realize it's got some chips hanging off it or something at the end of it. Come on.
Yeah, nothing worse than that. Alrighty, here we should be just about done. Actually, why don't you zoom in there, Sal? You can see it on the pallet in the machine there if you get a good view of that. So rather than do some pocketing on this, I mean, when you do the low radial engagement tricordial tool paths, you're actually reducing a lot of the tool pressure. And yeah, they look real cool, but that's actually not a terribly difficult cut to do well. A full depth, like a 1x diameter slot like this is actually testing the machine a lot more in terms of rigidity and horsepower. And if you got anything wrong, you're going to find it out on your first slot.
Right. Sounds good to me.
And you can see the pile of chips down there. I mean, so if you can kind of scroll down into the chip pan there, you can see this machine just cranks out those chips.
Like you said, if you're ready to make money, this is the kind of machine you want to do it with.
Yeah, exactly. So,
cool.
Yeah, this is a money maker. If you got bigger parts or need a slightly larger pallet size.
And all in that same smaller footprint.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if maybe you got a little bit of a tight space to try to fit this style machine into, this may be the one if you're really looking to do some heavy cutting.
Yeah.
So I think that kind of sums it up for what we've got for the EC-500, right, Marcus?
Yeah, and if you look,
right.
These chips are still a little toasty. I don't know if you can get a good look at them, but there's some serious chips there. Nice and blue.
Those look pretty hot. You're going to burn through your paper there in a second.
Actually feel it. Yeah, those are coming off hot.
Cool. Well,